Hey everyone, in light of the recent security breaches with some vendors in the MSP industry, now is the time for you to be locking down your API accounts within the Autotask PSA tool. So in this video, I show you how. Hi everyone, Chris Timm here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to lock down your API user accounts in Autotask. So by default, when you set these up in the PSA, they always use the system admin account, which has full access to everything inside Autotask. So in the, I would say normally unlikely event of a breach, these could be compromised. So what we want to make sure is that you're locking these down so that in the unlikely event of a breach, you're going to at least make sure that the data is safe and secure and that these other third-party applications are not able to access anything in Autotask. So let's go and take a look at how we would do this. So the very first thing we want to do from here is we want to click on, or at least hover on this little Autotask icon, click on the admin, and then we want to go into account settings and users. And then here under resources and users again. So you can see we have a bunch of different API accounts in here. So by default, all of these are set up to be system accounts. So you can see system. So what I want to do is to show you where you would actually see those. So again, from the resources and users section under security levels, if we were to go into this API system user account in here and simply try and edit it, it will come up and tell you that it's not editable. But something I wanted to show you, by default, it has full admin access to everything on your system. It also has full admin access to be able to delete accounts from the CRM, to delete opportunities, to delete notes, attachments. Also has the ability to go in and delete any information on the service desk, as well as add tickets and do all of that. So it's really, really important that we make sure that we lock these things down so that they don't have the ability to do that. So let's go and actually take a look at one of these API users that I have set up on here. So if we go back to the users in here, if we were to look at something like, for example, let's just look at one of these integrations. So I know that Pax8, for example, doesn't need to create tickets. It also, doesn't need any admin access. So instead of giving it the full API user system account, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to come in here and I'm going to say back to my security levels. And then I'm going to right click, copy the security level. And then I'm going to go ahead and do something like saying, maybe just call this, Pax8 API. So what I can then do is go, well, what does Pax8 need access to? So by default, Pax8 obviously needs access to be able to certainly view contracts and add some information to contracts. So I'm going to give it the ability to keep all of that. From a CRM perspective, it needs the ability to add accounts, add contacts, but what it doesn't need is any ability to do anything necessarily with opportunities or sales orders or any of these. So I'm just going to give it no view access to any of this stuff. So you can see I can simply just come in here and give it no view access to any of this. And I'm just going to come in here, and it certainly doesn't need any access to delete any of those things. So I'm just simply going to give this a none. And then from here, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to say, it doesn't really need to do anything with inventory. So instead of me coming in and changing all of these things, selecting these drop-down lists and changing them manually, what I am actually going to do at this point is I'm going to go ahead and just say up here, I'm going to give it no permission. So when I do no permission, you'll see that it basically just delete or gets rid of everything, makes this none, gets rid of all these checkboxes, etc. Needs no permission to projects. It also doesn't really need to do anything with the service desk either, but you can see by default, it has the ability to delete all tickets. So I just give it no permission to service desk, has no permission to timesheets or reports, and certainly doesn't need any access to any of the admin stuff. So you can just turn all of this off. And now when I hit save and close, what you'll see at this point is I now have a new API user account specifically for Pax8. So if we go back into here, and then I go back to resources and users, and I now go and find my Pax8 integration, then here I can see my Pax8 integration, click on the edit button, and I'll change the security level here to be this Pax8 API that I gave it. Simply hit save and close, and that's it. It is now changed, and you can see that it now has its own specific security level and doesn't have the ability to go in and delete any of that stuff. So I hope this was useful. If you find this video useful, I would really, really appreciate it if you could give it a like, subscribe to this channel. It really does help me make more of these. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.